Hi everyone, this is Reon Paper. Today we will be continuing the ink swatching series with a collection of yellow inks. In total I have 18 yellow inks, bottles and mostly samples. I've split these into two groups of 9. Today we will be focusing on the inks that are closest to a true yellow. In the next video we'll explore the part of the yellow spectrum that leans towards brown or in some cases even green. The category we have today is a bit of a difficult range of colors for a lot of fountain pen users. They are pretty, sure, but yellow can also be very light and quite hard to read. And whatever's hard to read is also kind of hard to write with. However, I think we have quite some fun and legible inks to swatch today. As always, I'll be using a glass of water, my Pilot Iro Uchishi dip pen in fine, my makeshift sample vial holder and an old towel. I'll be swatching on 52 GSM Tomoe River paper, and with all of that said, let's get swatching. The first ink is Herbin's Bouton d'Or, or Buttercup. This one is both dry and light, and boy did I have trouble even writing its name. The ink darkens a little when it dries, but that still makes writing with it quite hard. I do think it's a really pretty color, and especially if you're using ink for coloring or painting, you'll appreciate that there are bright yellow inks out there. Inkebara Yellow Fire is quite similar color-wise. It's less dry, which I preferred with the fine nib of the dip pen, but otherwise I don't really see much of a difference. These first two inks are probably the least suitable for longer writing of all of the inks that we'll be swatching in this video. The third ink is Schneider Lemon Cake from their Pastell ink line. Lemon Cake is quite light, but compared to Bouton d'Or or Yellow Fire, Lemon Cake has a more orange undertone. It's a soft color, less punchy and vibrant than our next few inks. Rohrer and Klingner Helianthus was recommended to me because it's generally a more legible yellow ink. Helianthus is the genus of plants that contains the different species of sunflowers. The warm, bright yellow with strong undertones of orange makes this a lovely ink. It's well behaved, perhaps being slightly wetter, but not too much. And please don't mind the darker greyish spots along the edges of the swatch that look like mold. It seems the ink picked up some of the black ink of the stamps, even though it's supposed to be a waterproof document ink, but maybe I didn't let it dry long enough. Dominant Industries Citrus Yellow is super similar in color to Rohrer and Klingner Helianthus. I wouldn't have bought a bottle of this ink if it hadn't been on sale for price, I just couldn't resist. Another lovely warm and bright yellow. Its orange undertone contributes to its legibility, it's a well-behaved ink, it's really nice. Sailor Manyo Yamabuki is an interesting ink. Yamabuki is the Japanese name of the Japanese rose, a shrub with yellow flowers. The word Yamabuki is also used in Japanese to denote a bright golden yellow color. The ink starts off quite light, but it can shade to a dark orange, almost red in the wettest parts. When dry, the darkest parts also develop a bit of red sheen. Of course, the appearance of the characteristics will vary depending on your pen, your nib, your paper. On this paper, the swatch turned out so dark, I would say it's more of an orange. Robert Oster's Sun on the Snow is our first shimmer ink of the day. It's a bright yellow, quite light at first, but having decent shading. It has some gold shimmer. As I only have a sample of this, I'm not sure if the amount of shimmer I've got is representable of the bottled version, but I like that the shimmer is a bit more subtle. I think it makes the ink look more elegant. Next up, we have Dominant Industry October Leaves. October Leaves, to be honest, was a bit of a disappointment for me. It's a slightly less saturated yellow, as befits the name, and it's a shimmer ink. Now, online, it's as if no one really knows what color the shimmer particles are. One website describes it as golden, another as pink, another as red, another as rose gold. When I look at the dried swatch, I see mostly pink, and I do not like the combination of the bright pink and the unsaturated yellow. I would have liked this ink so much more if the shimmer was more golden or maybe coppery. Our last ink for today is Inkebara Dandelion. Of course, when we've seen buttercups and sunflowers, there also had to be a dandelion somewhere. Inkebara Dandelion is quite a dark yellow, slightly less saturated than, for example, Helianthus, but it's still a true yellow. It doesn't really lean towards brown as much as some of the inks we'll see in the next video. And that's it, 9 yellow inks. Inkebara Dandelion is probably my favorite yellow for autumn, as it looks right at home in a color palette of muted browns, reds and oranges, whereas citrus yellow and Helianthus are great options for a vibrant summer feel. And while yellow is not a color I tend to associate with winter, I think Robert Oster's Sun on the Snow is an excellent choice for a less conventional winter color palette. Enjoy this little recording of the page now that all the inks have dried completely and you can really see all the shading, the sheen, the shimmer. I hope you enjoyed this video and I would love to hear what your favorite yellow ink is. Be sure to subscribe to the channel if you don't want to miss the rest of the series, and I hope to see you in the next one. Take care. Bye!